name is Mr. O'Souna. Yes, Gabriel O'Souna. And at this time, we are here mentioning and bringing him back onto the show. I can't seem to get something straight.
What's that?
Arlon John is saying that he's watching the show. I wonder if Arlon is trying to come on the show.
Maybe he changed his mind.
Yeah. He should send me a message. He should send this show a message. Or he changed his mind. Oh, okay. He changed his mind. Because, you know, he received the link, I believe, and I don't know why he changed his mind. So, Dr. Real,
Right.
You recently endorsed Watson Duke in the Tobago East general election race. Why? And it is possible, and is it possible that you may one day be aligned as a member of the PDP? If he chooses to, or maybe that's another question, if he chooses to come to Trinidad.
Right. Well, I was impressed by what Watson Duke is about. I like the fact that he's a yard man, as he calls himself. You know, he's on the floor. He said, a man with a little boy with a fistful of dollars. I like his vision for Tobago as well. I think he's on the ground and he's really connected to the people. And I think that's what Tobago needs. Tobago has been left in a state of abandon for way too long. And I think as a result, we need someone who is directly connected with the people to really bring it back. You know, the vision he has for Tobago, you know, the blueprint that he more or less revealed by his words, really, really impressive. And, you know, not just the vision that he has for Tobago, the fact that he's willing to preserve some of the natural artifacts, you know, the watersheds and the rainforests and all of that. And the type of tourism he wants to do, it must be, you know, out of the box, different. You know, I really, really am in awe. And therefore, I give him my prayers are with him, my support is with him as he goes into this general election.
So the part that if the IF should turn to, he's going to do, if he wins, he may come to Trinidad. Are you going to join him, or?
I would consider being a part of politics if he does come to Trinidad. Yeah, I don't like to be politically aligned, but I think I could put my foot behind Watson Duke's feet in the political race.
So you did interview him a week or two ago. Am I correct?
I interviewed him last Monday.
Oh, last Monday.
A few days ago.
Nice. And what do you think of him being interviewed by you? Did he keep his cool? He kept his cool?
Well, for me, I was able to ask him any question. And, you know, I will always talk about the PEP, much to the amazement of some and to the dismay of some. But my experience with two political leaders in two different political parties, and we can make it three, as in Nikolai Edwards, I don't hold back to ask the hard question. I did ask Mr. Nikolai Edwards what was his contribution to the LGBTQI, and it could have been a question that would prompt, you know, some sort of antagonism. It could be a question that could cause one to become a little bit irate or upset or disturbed. And he maintained his composure. And I did ask Mr. Duke about the rape cases that he has before the court, and he was nonchalant about it. He explained it in detail. He didn't have a problem with me asking, you know, these questions. And that's the thing. I think as a political leader and a future prime minister, you have to maintain your decorum. While I agree that it takes a wolf to catch wolves, you must maintain a certain air. There must be a clear line of, demarcation between what you accept and what you deny. You can't walk off on an interview. You can't just, speak to the people with the arrogance that I just described, like what Mr. Gary Griffith, adopts at different points in time. And my opinion is of the political leader, the PEP. I think that we had to check we attitude by the door.
But you spoke of the PDP or PEP or P?
Progressive Empowerment Party.
Oh, PEP.
Yeah.
You were part of that party.
Yes. And I find the leader lacks integrity, and he has zero decorum, and he thinks that is acceptable. And it doesn't faze me, because in my mind we have a man who speaks to people without a sense of calm, without a sense of modesty, no respect for women, in office at this time. And we don't need another one of those, with due respect to both parties.
So are you aligning the PNM party with anyone right now?
Personally, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. PEP is like an offshoot of the PNM, because I see similar qualities in both parties. I see people who follow blindly, and they are willing to impose. I'm pretty sure there are some of them on your live possibly willing to promote the party in the middle of the live, which is highly disrespectful, because we ain't talking about that right now. And to know that they have no chill, as you all say in the US, they have no chill. And the sycophants, when you ask them, the members, they appear to be sycophants because they follow blindly. And when you challenge them on things, you see a level of arrogance, they start cursing you and that kind of thing. And remember, there you have it. You see, Robert Wendell Dexter says, he's just aggressive, but given the job, he'll be a good PM. I doubt that. I doubt that highly, because I have gotten up close and personal with Mr. Philip Edward Alexander. And I don't believe that.
We call it
Well, I've gotten up close and personal as a fact. And my opinion of the individual is that he wouldn't be a good PM.
Oh. It's your views, your opinion. None of mine.
Based on my experience. Based on my experience. You don't know him as I know him.
Based on experience. Because, I just get to know him, and I followed him. I watched him, and I got a chance to interview him. He didn't interview that well, but I'm not going to go into that. And I'm going to leave that out, because, with me, I ain't go for you, and I wouldn't come for me.
Right, correct.
And not on that kind of level anymore, where I will be combatant with words and definition and trying to get into people's character. So move on. Can you envision a scenario where Watson Duke is the leader of the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago?
Yes, I can. I mean, if he wins the two Tobago seats now, and he decides to come into Trinidad, and he decides to hold on to grassroots people like himself, I can see it over the next 5 years, Trinidad and Tobago making a transformation where they start realizing that, sometimes we put political scientists in office and they failed us. So why not let a man who is from the earth, a grassroots individual, actually lead us in the right direction? And then obviously, if he handles Tobago well, it could be a, not too distant possibility.
So you are saying that grassroots mean because he's a unionist, or he knows how to bargain, he knows how to either stay at the table or walk away from the table? That's what you mean?
No, I'm saying that he has stayed the course, and he has also steered the course of many vessels thus far. How someone handles accusation tells you a lot about the quality of the man, tells you about the character of the individual. If when you ask him a direct question, like sometimes the Honorable Prime Minister does it, he sidesteps or he gets very aggressive, it says something to you.
Aggressive or defensive? Which one? Let me get it straight.
Both.
Oh,
Both. Sometimes he gets aggressive and it's not defensive. Sometimes it's offensive. You know, I remember when he was asked about the riots, he said, "Who rioted you?" You know, he turned the question around and the media personnel rather than give a straight answer. You know, and I remember once he was asked the question about. It's slowing down on me.
Like the clap back. He claps back. That what you mean? People?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But what's in this
our audience today, some of them are very political. So when we speak to them. You know, that is what does make the difference. We're not speaking around people. We speak to them. Or people not hearing me right now.
You broke up there for about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Just before you did the
should I go out again and come back?
I don't know. Maybe you should try.
Are you hearing me now?
I'm hearing you a little bit garbled. All right. So Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension, the world. Real talk about that question with Watson Duke. The character of a man, when an accusation is made against him, then you see the true character of a man. And personally, I believe that Watson Duke handles his situations well. I believe that Soca Man Wapnen. I believe Arlon John Wapnen. So I believe that he would, and he's connected to the ground. He's not the type of person that looks down his nose at people. He's a grassroots man, and he's not ashamed to admit, you know, that he is not on top of the world. He still thinks that, you know, he is a grassroots man.
Hear me now?
Man. Yes, of course, I'm hearing you now.
I put back on the Wi-Fi. I don't know if it will spoil again.
Spoil? When you say spoil, I think I was sweet bread. Good night from New York City, Krishna Sukhan Singh. Good night, sir. Very avid follower.
Yes, so Tobago has been plagued with this writing so fine right now. Before it was a little bigger, now we're going right back to. So Tobago has been plagued and politically manipulated into a state of regression, seriously, across the board, politically, economically, industrially, yes, environmentally, and mentally. How do we recover from this?
To start with, Watson seems to have the answer to this question. You know, in jeopardy, you could phone a friend.
He will be on Wednesday. He will be on Wednesday.
Right. Well, tell Dr. Cindy she could save this question for him. He has an answer for it. But for me personally, from my limited experience, I agree that Tobago has been plagued and politically manipulated into a state of regression across the board. Politically, economically, they have starved Tobago from financing under certain administrations. Tobago didn't even get enough food this last meeting here. I don't think enough emphasis has been placed on the agricultural sector in Tobago, because there was a time when Tobago used to be the breadbasket of the Caribbean, right? Environmentally, that whole sandals deal was an insult to Tobago as far as I am concerned. You wanted to convert no man's land to Sandals Resort. I mean, if you see how Sandals function, Sandals operates like an independent franchise. So when they come in an island, it's Sandals and then Tobago. So the people get locked out, you know, because there's everything on a Sandals resort and you don't need to go and see the rest of the island. And I think that is what Sandals was aiming at, and that would have been bad for Tobago. So just to consider Sandals for Tobago is an insult to the people of Tobago as well. So obviously that would affect them environmentally and mentally. I think the Sandals scandal speaks to all of the above, right? How do we recover? Watson Duke is the answer. Watson Duke has plans for Tobago's tourism, and tourism in the true sense of the word, not just the copycat type of tourism where you follow what Barbados did, you follow what St. Lucia did, you follow what St. Vincent did. And, you know, he made certain very salient points that the African man in Tobago is different to the African man at Trinidad. And I think it's based on governance as well, and things that have been allowed to progress and happen in the island, you know. Tobago people tend to stand up on their own 2 feet for certain things. They take long, but they don't go wrong, you know. So as a result, every time I visit Tobago, I get a sense of calm.
That's a big one. They take long, but they don't go wrong.
Yeah. And they stay strong. They stay strong. They take long, they don't go wrong, and they always stay strong.
Champa, watch out, Champa. Watch out, Champa. Watch out, Champa. No more you coming there with your speech, man. Hey, I have a speech man here.
A wordsmith.
A wordsmith. Whoa.
Yeah, so Watson described a vision for me of a highway passing through Tobago and not to disturb the natural habitats of these animals and the different types of, you know, indigenous trees and so on, and plants that live in Tobago. And he spoke of self-governance. I had a little issue with it, but when he described how it would work to benefit Tobago, I could totally be on board with it, you know. But the way forward for Tobago might be self-governance, because Tobago needs to stop depending on Trinidad for everything. They wait on us for money. They need to be able to, you know, to bargain for themselves, to borrow for themselves, and to manage their own affairs. And I think they will do a way better job than we keep doing, you know, because your prime minister speaks to the gimme mentality, but he has Tobago in a jam, in a bind, where they're forced to ask. They're forced to be gimme, you know. And I don't see the THA making a profit for the last couple of decades. And as a result, something is being done wrong. So we need to revisit that entire arrangement. And I don't think we'll need to reinvent the wheel. And building an airport and saying, let's build it and they will come, is not the way forward. But Watson has a very good idea of the way.
We have a caller on the line.
Nice, man.
So let me try it out tonight now, because you ain't coming tomorrow, which is sad. We have a caller on the line. Let me see if it will work. Hello, caller. Let's hold on a minute. This is exciting. Well, things got slowed down. Hello? Well, let's read another question if another question is here from the audience or anywhere. A lot of questions, a lot of people talking. Back to you, son. This is awesome. I love it. What's happening here? We're not hearing anybody. Hello?
Hi, good night.
Hello,
Hey.
good night.
How are you guys?
Oh, we are doing great. Who is this? Caller.
It's it's Racine.
Hi, Racine. How you doing? Oh, people, look who calling in. Racine is my co-host. Oh, she was on the show before, and I made her into
Okay.
a co-host. And
Nice.
the first calling.
Right.
Okay,
So,
so I did have a
have any
question.
question?
Yes, I do have a question. My question was, since the borders are closed now, will they remain closed for Carnival 2021?
I like Racine already.
Her,
um,
her other name is Princess, so she's a princess.
Princess Racine. Personally, I believe that they're gonna open the borders for Carnival. I don't think in terms of income, the government is concerned about losing income to facilitate citizens, but we rather lose citizens to facilitate income. So I believe, my personal belief is, if well, the other thing is, if a new government emerges, that might be, something that is up in the air. But I don't think the borders will remain closed for Carnival. That's just my belief. I just get that feeling in my spirit.
Well, this is awesome, Racine. You have debuted the calling part of Mama Coco's live, and introducing live calling in sessions to live with Mama Coco. Please dial 1702 yes 625-1655 to join the conversation. It's awesome. Racine, are you still there?
I think she left.
I think
I
we have.
think Arlon John said that he was waiting to come live, but he clocked a little slow, because I don't know which part of Trinidad he is. Like, he on a different timeline, but usually everybody in Trinidad at the same time. He said he was waiting to come on. He said he was waiting to come on. But he can't wait no more, so he go take it in from here. He said he was turning it on Wi-Fi food.
Alan should have clicked the link. He could still click the link, or he can
Maybe
call you.
Alan don't. Maybe I might have to explain to Alan what a link is. I don't know.
Alan was here. Alan on the show twice before.
I don't understand, Alan.
Alan, that your boy, Don't slap your boy,
Nah, I'm a boy. I work a game talk. I say, like, you explain to him what a link is, because I mean,
Oh, why he
he was there since early afternoon.
Oh, why he block him tonight?
Well, if you say none of that, yes, you stay here. Hug me up. We go watch it like TV.
Yeah. So let me get
Ravi Ramdin.
till someone else call.
Right. Ravi Ramdin has a contribution. Tobago has all the potential to become a #1 tourist destination, but badly managed by the PNM for decades.
Wow. No other calls yet, so we're gonna go into Nicola Hines is saying, "What a link! What
hilarious.
areas? Alan is a trickster tonight." Alan, they say you're a trickster boy. Oh my God! Nicola Hines is saying, "If we are self-government, is that separating the Twin Islands as the central government? Is Trinidad and Tobago, of Trinidad and Tobago, maybe?"
Yes. And the answer, Nicola Hines, is yes. But I think it's necessary, because if you see how Tobagonians suffer, you have a court system where every Monday morning they have to wait for a judge to come from Tobago, a magistrate and a judge. Well, a magistrate. And you have people transiting via the boat to go to Trinidad. And it kind of slows down the justice process. You understand? The wheels of justice turn slow when you get arrested in Tobago. I mean, people might consider and say, okay, he's a criminal, that is the so-and-so business. But the thing is, consider someone who is innocent until proven guilty being not taken to court as soon as possible in accordance with the judge's rules, and which forms the basis for the laws of Trinidad and Tobago as it governs how we treat our persons after they are arrested. And it's part of the laws, it forms part of the evidence and procedure and criminal law as well. So seeing that when you are from Tobago, you are at a disadvantage, and then you have a senior superintendent who has to wait on an instruction from a commissioner in Trinidad. And this commissioner in Trinidad might be totally disconnected with the criminal, landscape that exists in Tobago. Whereas something could stop. If there's a commissioner in Tobago, something could stop at the commissioner's office because he has that direct link with the people and he knows what is possible and what is not. So if you tell him a man was caught thieving a goat down by Roxborough, he might know that goats don't really live down there, just using that as a reference. But if it's Gary Griffith might think it just a goat running wild in Tobago because he's disconnected with the society, you see. So Watson Duke did mention that to me, and we went into detail, and when he explained the horrific scenarios that surrounds the criminal justice system in Tobago, it was really scary and food for thought.
So you could explain to Nicola Hines that central government, that central, like if we have like self-governance is different from recession. From secession, what am I talking about?
Yeah.
Self-governing is different from secession.
Yeah. Self-governance is totally different from cessation in that there wouldn't be a fallout. If the system is running, it would just aid the system. So if someone has been arrested, it's not like we're gonna go back to not arresting them, We have a call.
But we have another caller.
Okay. Hi, good night.
Good night.
You'll have to lower the volume on your device there. Because we're gonna
I'm walking away from it. Hi, good night, Mama Coco. Hi, Redo. This is
Hey, I know who this is. I know who this is. Alexandria George.
Yes, sir. That's my whole government.
Sorry, don't pay your government, Tony. Only if somebody know you don't know your government.
A lot of people know.
Actually, well, a lot of people know it now, right, Mama Coco? Since I came on and we had the bio, and so everybody know all my business on the road, Redo. It's out there.
Well, it's you who say well, you told me that your life is an open book, so I just open your book.
Mama,
20 page.
no problem. I ain't hiding from nobody. No warrant I come out to no Mama Coco. No warrant I come out. So I just wanted to put 2 cents on the conversation about, Tobago needing its own administration and as it speaks to, prisoners and judges and stuff like that. I mean, they need it all together. But just in respect to persons who have been charged and have to go before a judge, waiting for a judge to come from Trinidad. I mean, even in Trinidad, when you have to go to court, the system lacks. It does not work. So just imagine this person has to come from Trinidad to Tobago, and we all know the deficiencies of our system, right? They still arrest people and put them in the back of a vehicle like a dog.
Yes.
That is something that pisses me off because this is a human being. And like you rightfully said, Redo, this person could be innocent. Suppose this police vehicle, which has happened before, gets into an accident. These people have no seat belts. These people could be killed. They are somebody's children, brother, father, cousin, aunt, whoever. That's inhumane. That's infringement of their human rights.
Correct.
In 2020, oil-rich Trinidad and Tobago, we are still putting persons who you detain, right, into the back of the vehicle like a cow or a goat.
You can't even put a cow there, Ali. That's the trunk. That is essentially the trunk of an SUV. You can't put cows and goats there.
Well, it's true, you know, because I'm sure there will be a protest for the cow, but not a protest for the prisoner. It's inhumane. It's inhumane. It's unsafe. It's against their human rights. And, you know, one thing that really upsets me about our people, you know, love us, but hate this about us. We don't call wrong wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a criminal, so where are you put him in a limousine? That is wrong.
Yeah.
Human rights.
Look, human rights, Mama Coco, that's infringement of someone who's detained human rights.
Basic human rights.
Coco, this is for everybody, man, child, woman, regardless of age. And you know what hurts me, Mama Coco? You know what kills me? It kills me when people who have left Trinidad, I will give the people in the island who have never left Trinidad and Tobago a blight. I will give them a blight because I will say they don't know better. But when you have traveled, right, and we have, right now the world is a globe. So many of us traveling, maybe 2 out of 5 travels from Trinidad and Tobago now, if not more, right? When you travel, when you come up here, when you see better, when you get exposed to better, you're supposed to demand better. How do people come out here, get exposed, get educated, live out here, and still turn around and support parties and policies that keep Trinidad and Tobago in the prehistoric age? That is absolute wickedness.
Yeah. That's selfishness. They come out and they find it good for them, but it's good for the rest of the population. Yeah.
Yes. I do not understand this, and it is something that bugs me. It troubles my spirit because I live in New York, and in New York, we don't have any water tanks. Just for example, I can get up 2 o'clock in the morning, Mama Coco, and you know this, you live out there in California. Redo, we can get up any hour, the night or day, and take a shower. We could do cook, wash, clean, whatever we need to do, what that necessitates water. We don't have the time when we go in and bathe or full 3-4 buckets and have it stand up at the side of the house like it's waiting for Jesus. We can do that because there's water in the pipe 24 hours. And people live like this up here and go back home and then get upset when people say we want to vote for another party because we have not had water in 3 weeks and they find, so I'm this Trinidad, but you enjoying better conditions where you live outside of Trinidad and Tobago. Stop being wicked.
Oh, yes.
Selfishness.
Selfishness, man.
That's absolute selfishness, Mama Coco. But you know what is funny? Let those same people come back out here. If any one of these states that they live in and don't get water for one day, they're ready to call the city, they're ready to call the state, they're ready to go on TV, they're ready to make a life. But in Trinidad and Tobago, the people in Trinidad and Tobago should be able to live with more be coming out of their faucet. And the government of the day that had 5 years to fix the situation, you should not talk about it. That is absolute wickedness.
They're ready for lawsuit.
They're ready. Up, Mama Coco, listener, ain't nobody better than an immigrant in America, you know, because we know all we right.
You know the left side.
Redo, we know all we right. Redo, nobody can talk to me anyhow in New York. You're mad or what?
Yeah.
So, especially with me having my blue book with the eagle on it, you want me going like a Tasmanian? I going a bad. But when I come to Trinidad, I must tell people who want to vote for another party that is promising to do better, that has done better, that they shouldn't vote for that party because of tribalism. Am I wicked? Am I stupid? All this time, all this money I am owing for a degree, for a master's degree means nothing if my education does not translate into watching what is going in my country and seeing what is wrong. Wasted education.
Yep.
People in Trinidad, Sister Ali, they're in Trinidad begging for barrel. Every year they want a barrel, and every 4 years they're voting pay them still.
Mama Coco, let me tell you something. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like everybody who wants to go to heaven but afraid to death. You really believe in God?
Hey, my daughter said that up to every day. She keeps saying everybody want to get to heaven, but dying is
Nobody wants to die.
The only person that got into heaven without dying is Elijah.
Hey,
Even Moses had to die. So please, I tell people, let us call a spade a spade.
John Cummings,
Let
John saying that it breaks her heart when she heard that my niece who lives in Mova, 6 weeks plus no water.
And we're an island surrounded by water.
But wonder if your niece can vote PNM.
wickedness, absolute wickedness, absolute wickedness. If you go to Dubai, right? This is a city in the desert. They don't have water problems.
They have more water than we.
All around us. How? And we have water problems, Mama Coco. How do we have water coming out of the tap brown like Morby? And then what the minister, the person who has been made the minister of water, I have to laugh. Utilities, I have to laugh. This man stood up and said in front of audiences or whatever that he went England. He went England. This is a learned man, right? I think he's supposed to be a lawyer or something. He went to England and he was shocked that the people in England had water 24 hours. Did we go and find somebody in some cave and put them as a minister? Are we for real?
He's an attorney at law. Don't just say he's a learned man. Give him man the credit that is due to him, man. Ali. He's an attorney at law.
Mr. O'Souna, somebody have a question here, please.
Exactly.
Come here, question. Do we have any idea of who we should vote for, since we have two parties and they both are the same? My God.
We are the Progressive Party. We are the Progressive Party. We are
the question and then I'll jump off.
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Because I want to get off on the show, the Ali and co-hosting, Mama Coco, they don't to roast me into co-hosting and talking. I just call in to ask you one thing and only I'm not talking, I'm kind of back now.
Ali, you co-hosting Saturday. You know that, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
It's Saturday.
I'm ready to co-host.
No, she's ready. She's co-hosting
so
about.
What I want to say.
Yeah, next Saturday.
Ask that question, right?
So ask the question that we just had there.
Yes. Mama Coco, here's what I want to say. Now, I want to give an analogy of a single woman who has two men, right? Two men in play. Of course, it's about other men because we're not in the Garden of Eden. There are other men, but there are these two men that you're focusing on. Because as Mama Coco, behave, please. Then, when
it's not easy, boy.
Analogy out. Mama Coco. So, one man, let me call the man Tom, the first man Tom, is the man in the house. Everybody know Farm and Happy song, right? So the honor man wants to be the man in the house. So he applying for the work. He's saying, I could do a better job everywhere, in the kitchen, in the bedroom, in the garden, on the roof, under the house. I mean, the man applying. He put out the resume whole May. Okay? Now, remember, with Tom in this house, the man in the house, they've been with him for years, right? So we're saying that's PNM.
Right.
PNM been in the house all these years. All kind of things that will go wrong. He can't see the sink leaking. He can't see the window needs to fix. He don't have time with the children. They can run ragged and rampant. The bedroom is always 6 o'clock. It can't get to be 12 o'clock. Okay? But it's a the man outside, because you know how it is when a man outside. The man who outside will perform. It's when he gets inside, he might change the performance. Because now he ain't trying to get you. He got you. Mama Coco are going right?
You're going right. Go ahead, Mama. Nicola.
Okay.
Nicola Hines have a question for you.
Okay.
Go ahead with the one first. We ain't done that. We have to know why did at 6 o'clock in the bedroom.
So you decide now, the 6, Mama Coco, no matter how you chain up the clock, the hand can't touch 12 at all. It's just going to 6, 6:30, 24 hours, 6:30. Never. No matter who. Mama Coco, you like bacana, little. You change the battery. You put it in the sun. You talk to it. You say, well, maybe you need a little water, and that will get it to cook. You put water on the clock, it's still saying 6:30. No matter what, you get up in the middle of the night, it's still 6:30. In the middle of the day, the sun hot, your beams are sweat, it's still 6:30. Nothing are working, Mama Coco. You try.
So education working, your finance and working, Ministry of Education and working. No matter what you do, nothing can work. It's PNM.
Nothing are working.
Okay.
Mama Coco, you can't get education. You have a dinosaur inside the ministry as the Minister of Education. He dribbling down, he said, don't mind, he talking about wood. You can't get no help from social services. Because when you go over there, no matter if you have one eye in the middle of your head like a cycle up, they tell you how you're looking healthy. You go to the hospital, nothing works. You can't even get an extra, but they're telling you, come back 10 months down the road, they're hoping you die before the 10 months run out. You're going by the police station. The policeman had his woman in the front car. He said, we have no vehicle. This is for me to balance. Bye-bye. And that's coming. We don't have vehicle. This is not the right station for you to report that domestic abuse. Go up Puna. No matter where you go, it's not working. You come, you decide, well, okay, let me give the Horner man a chance because the Horner man been promising. Yeah, what happened? So the Horner man gets in. This is the UNC. UNC gets in. And he said, well, okay, the children and them looking like if they're from Biafra. He said, well, it's time to fatten them up. He decided he's going to take off VAT of 7,000 food items. So the little bit of money that you was getting in your pocket is going a little further because before you could only buy a half a pound of saltfish, chicken neck, and some chicken foot. You couldn't get the chicken back because it was too much on that pressure with all the VAT and tax on the food. Now you can get a whole chicken, you can buy a whole pound of saltfish and half a pound of rice. You're eating big. You're stewing chicken on a Sunday, lavish. Your whole neighborhood here and you're stewing chicken.
And you're cha.
Yeah. Listen now, when you see the steam hit the thing, so you open your window and you say, oh gosh, this place only smelling of chicken. So everybody says, hear you. You understand? Okay. When a man look around, he see this thing dripping here, really a plumber, you know, but he decides to put a little bucket underneath it and let it catch the drip. So it's running on and wetting on the whole floor. Now, you really need a new sink, you know, but the man who was in the house didn't even put a bucket. So you say, hey, life improve. I have a bucket under the sink that catching the water. Problem not fixed, but there is a temporary solution. He run outside in the garden. There's one set of stinking Susie. He said, nah, man, this can't work. He started to put cassava, a little sorrel, a little peas. You know, so he didn't fix everything, but he fixed some things. But here what will end up happening. Remember your
Tom,
special thing no more.
Let me keep this real. Tom have to go. We can't take back. We have to send Tom out because Tom ain't doing nothing. Everything for Tom failing.
Tom got to come back in the house, Mama Coco, here because here what happened, the Horner man but gave you a horn, Horner man horn, and you remember what Shadow said, the Horner man horning? So he gave you a horn and you decided, I can't take that. He tell me he ain't go home and say, bring back Tom inside the house. No, so get to the question. The question is, which of these two is the better man? The Tom was horny, he treat you bad. The Horner man do a little more and he horny you. You have to sit down and look at specifics. If you go to say all man is dog, what you're going to do? Are you going to go on the other side? Are you going to play for the next team? What you're going to do? You have to sit down and say, well, okay, Tom didn't fix the window, but the outside man did come in and he did jack it up so I could have closed it. Tom didn't fix the sink. The other man come and he put a bucket. You have to look at specific things because the truth is, Mama Coco, Trinidadians practice something that I have started to call lazy democracy. What is lazy democracy? Lazy democracy is when they feel after they done wave the red jersey and the yellow jersey and the bus are dirty wine in the middle of the road because everybody wants to show that they can tell it. If you hear these songs for all the parties, these songs on point, Mama Coco, I love it. They feel once they put their finger and they walk away from the pole, automatically the parties are going to work in their best interest. Fall. That is lazy democracy. You have to keep these people accountable by showing up in their offices, by getting out on the road when they don't do what you need to do, by when they decide to close Petrotrin, don't jump out and say, well, I never work Petrotrin, so I ain't going out there. lazy democracy is you waiting and expecting them to do what is in your best interest without you holding their feet to the fire. That is the culture of Trinidad and Tobago. And that is why for so many years, we have had what we have been getting. Because guess what? Everybody can talk about they have strongholds. Strongholds is like a man saying, no matter how much I beat she ain't going nowhere. Domestic violence. All they are going out. I want to watch the rest of the show.
I have a question for you. She gone?
Have a question for me?
Yes. Sort of, because you said we have to vote lesser of the evil. UNC have a chance. UNC had a chance. What did they do? Bankrupt the treasury. Is that true?
Mama Coco, here's what I will say. When the PNM came into power, that was the first thing they started to jump up and ball the treasury empty. But if the treasury was empty, Mama Coco, I want to know, and you know, this is where logical thinking. No, we need to stop taking what these people who benefit from us following their narrative say. We need to sit down and put our thinking caps on, right? That is why we go to the same education that people keep talking about Eric Williams give us, that we're supposed to stay loyal to the PNM. That is a function of government. That does not buy your loyalty. Let us use that education and think. If the treasury was indeed as empty as the PNM said, where did they get all this money to spend rampant? This one could go roaming with phone. This one could pay off the woman he touched. This one could do this, that, and 3 boats, and all of this nonsense. Mama Coco, I would love to have my purse as empty as the Trinidad and Tobago treasury. I only go in shopping every day.
I understand that UNC left $2 billion for rainy funds. No,
6 billion.
How many?
6 billion.
How much?
6 billion.
6 billion.
The PNM is different from the HSF fund that they have put no money into. If the UNC raided the treasury, as the narrative they put out there, tell me where they get all this money, Mama Coco. Tell me why they have not been able to put any money into it. Since, you know, column members will jump one day and say things bad, and then the next day miraculously it's so good. But then we need to do our research. Go and look up the GDP of the country over the last 10 years. And you will see, it is not my opinion, Mama Coco. You will see that it was the highest under the UNC.
So UNC didn't bankrupt the country. That's what you're saying?
Mama Coco, the numbers does not bear out that fallacy. Let's do research.
What you saying, Mr. Defoe? I saying Defoe. Oh, I just was reading. I just was reading something there. I just was reading something about Mr. Defoe, and then I call you Mr. Defoe. I understand that he's not running again for election.
Nah, he isn't.
So what do you think?
What I think, the UNC put $6 billion into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, right? The PNM before that put is under Patrick. And the fund was in excess of $12 billion USA. This current PNM regime put $0 in the fund. And then here's my issue. You have to be dumb as a doorknob to understand what they are saying and believe it. Here's why I'm saying that. We have recurring sources of revenue in Trinidad and Tobago. So when you make a statement like the treasury is empty, it can never be true, because you have Ministry of Works and Transport generating an income from the citizens. When you go to pay for inspection, you pay to vehicles roll off the assembly line every day, the registration line every day in Trinidad and Tobago. Where do these tens of thousands of dollars that it takes to register a vehicle go? Into the treasury. So when you tell me that the treasury empty, I want to hit your headbutt, because you take me for the thing with the long ears and the long tail and not the rabbit, you know? So I don't even want to comment on that too much, because I find it's insulting my intelligence. It's a high level of stupidity, and I'm very surprised and appalled and disheartened at the same time that Trinbagonians in 2020, when in a social media age, believe that horse manure.
Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous, you know, because saying this and saying that.
As soon as he said that, he spent $3 million in paintings. Just after he buy the paintings, he buy a $1.2 million Benz. Where the lies stop and where the truth start?
Where the truth start? Ali gone? Ali gone?
Yeah, Ali gone, Ali gone.
Yeah, so Mr. O'Souna, I really don't know what's happening because the people not gaining the knowledge that we need before we vote. This is why God created this show. So we can get a chance to see who we're voting for and why are we voting for them. You understand me? If
Right.
they are just being seat fillers
Right.
in parliament, or they are there to pick up a job to make life better for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, especially the youth and especially the people of Laventil. Now,
Question.
as a father, what are the most pressing issues for you in Trinidad and Tobago today?
As a father, one of the first priority for me in terms of issues, job creation. The PNM has not created one job, but they have destroyed 50 jobs, 50,000 jobs, sorry. So sustenance, financial stability and sustenance for the working population of Trinidad and Tobago, the ability to provide for their offspring is a concern to me. Additionally, education for my two sons. Well, the first one finished, but the second one just about to start. So education is a priority for me. Because the PNM gave us gate and they more or less took it back on the Petrotrin administration. So that's of grave concern to me. Going again, sustainability in terms of the health sector, because I worry all the time that one of my sons will get sick and I might have to carry them to the hospital and the type of treatment we get there. Because my second son both sons were, the second son was born under the Petrotrin Medicare system, which no longer exists as we know. And my first son would have benefited from the healthcare of Petrotrin as well. Because I mean, it was second to none. And it was state of the art, as I told you. We had our own medical centers, like health centers, like how you have health centers in Trinidad. We had Santa Flora, you have Point 14, you have Trinma, you have Point-a-Pay, and they have a hospital. And if you need additional help, they usually refer you to specialists. I have benefited from that. My sons have benefited from that. So these are some of my chief concerns.
I was mentioning sons. Yeah, you know, in the first show, you were just saying your son. So
my sons.
Your stepson or your son?
No, I have two sons. I have a 17-year-old son. He'll be 17 in August, and I have a 2-year-old son. He was out of the last relationship that, went viral. So, yeah, I have two sons.
So we are talking about the People's National Movement. I'm going to use the name right now because then I just want to tell all the women my age. I don't think any of you, anyone in Trinidad, is as knowledgeable as me about PNM and because of PNM. Okay? So everybody, let's come off of your stage and get ready to listen and gain some knowledge and gain some wisdom. PNM took over. How many companies did the People's National Movement shut down, close out, call off? We already know that they took away all the laptops from the children. But tell us how many companies in totality, and then you could name any that you remember.
To start with, we have Petrotrin, Petroleum Company of Trinidad and Tobago. Petrotrin had at least 10,000 workers. They parade it as less, but that's the facts. These are the facts. I can tell you that We count in temporary workers, we count in contract workers, and we are saying contracted workers, because you had contractors working for Petrotrin. So the person employed with Petrotrin would be the contracted company, and they would pay their employees. So essentially, it's in the region of 10,000. And if you check downstream companies that were providing for Petrotrin, you could probably reach about 20,000 persons that were out of a job when Petrotrin was closed. Yara is significantly less, but Yara belonged to Point Lisas as well, and they would have closed because they were one of the downstream companies. ArcelorMittal, the previous administrations allowed ArcelorMittal to come in the country under the PNM. They got exemption from taxes and so on, and they were allowed to run free and make a lot of money. And when they decided they had enough, they packed up and left. That would have been in 2017, I believe. 2016, right? That is the steel mill of Trinidad and Tobago, right? Power gen. We like to say Tiantec, but Tiantec doesn't operate on their own. Tiantec is a downstream company from PowerGen. PowerGen generates the power that gives us electricity, and they provided it to Tiantec. Now we have 4 independent stations, power stations, generating the electricity and selling it to Tiantec. That's what the PNM, this last PNM regime did. You say Tiantec, your utilities, you didn't try to keep that government run. Why would you do that? And you're giving the 1% now, the private investors, the people with the money, the ability to sell you electricity so they could hold you to ransom, right? You have TSTT, Telecommunication Services at Trinidad and Tobago, shut down, chopped up into small companies. Oh, wait, that sounds just like Petrotrin. And sold to Amplia, which is a 1% company again. TCL was also downsized and sold to the Mexicans. A Mexican company running TCL now, and it's significantly smaller, similar to what they did in Petrotrin. Nutrient ammonia plant, which is one of a few ammonia plants that existed in the Point Lisas industrial estate, as well as Caribbean Nitrogen Company ammonia plant. All right, these are companies that shut down as due to the fact that NGC, the National Gas Company, which was also downsized significantly, they couldn't supply them with the amount of nitrogen for ammonia and that kind of thing. So raw materials were a problem after Petrotrin closed, right? We also have Lake Asphalt is being up in the air, but there's just question marks over Lake Asphalt. And additionally, we have Unilever, which used to be Lever Brothers. I don't know if you remember Lever Brothers.
The brothers making the soap, yes.
Right, they shut down their operations in Trinidad and Tobago as well under the PNM regime. So there you have it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So all these people out of
50,000 people are out of jobs. And if you look at the fallouts, it would be in the region of at least 400,000 people. When you look at the households and persons directly affected, because remember, as an employee of Petrotrin, I would have a man cutting my grass. I would go to the car wash and wash my car. I'd be able to go to the mechanic frequently to service my vehicle. So there are people who depend on me for an income. These people cannot depend on me anymore because I have no income. So I will have to try to change my oil myself. I cut my grass myself.
who
You
does
understand?
hair?
Yeah, who is cut my hair? Good one.
Good one.
I can't go to the barber as often as I would like. I used to go every week for a shape up. I can't do that anymore. I'm thinking about going locks now, you know. So these are the things, the barber, you know, the babysitter, you understand, the hairdresser. You see how it goes? So
The corn soup on the corner.
there you go. The corn soup lady, the burger cart man, the man selling fish pies. He would benefit from me having, you know, when I work overtime, I have to purchase food from these people. These people, their income would be affected by my lack of income. You understand?
Yes.
So and those are the domino effects. The fence line communities of all these companies would be affected, because these people would come to the fence line communities to purchase stuff. They would come to the fence line communities to do all different types of business.
The seamstress, the tailor. Give us
Correct.
We're gonna take a little break again. I tell you my business doing good, you know. I tell you, but this ain't no joke, and I just want to send this message because you know the vibes coming in. I just want people to know the reason why I could talk as a PNM from before and a PNM now and a PNM for the future, because I'm here for the young people. When I used to be a PNM, Keith Rowley was in the National Joint Action Committee.